Hi. Welcome back to another episode on the Healthy Wisdom series with Dr. Jen Chen. You guys, today I just had to add one more episode to our self-mastery series because I just couldn't round it out without this one piece. And we're going to be talking about how to self-start. And that is such a critical piece because no matter what it is that you have in terms of your toolbox, if you don't have the ability to start yourself again, especially after you've hit a wall or failure has come knocking on your door, I mean, seriously, self-starting is such a key piece because one of the things that you need to keep in mind, and we all need to keep in mind, is that if we can actually pick ourselves back up, we can restart, push the reset button, and go all over again. And if you do the grind and you continue to push forward and keep bringing the needle forward one step at a time, you will reach your ultimate goal and whatever it is that you put your mind to. So how do we take this piece and put it into our lives and make it work for us? How do we pick ourselves back up? There are a few steps that I've found that a lot of really successful people have actually mastered, And first and foremost, I mean, you have to acknowledge your failures and your losses. That's first and foremost. You cannot be in denial. If you're going to move forward and you're going to pick yourself back up and try again, you have to acknowledge your losses and you have to acknowledge your failures. Second thing after that, you have to take ownership. You guys, taking ownership of those losses and those failures will make you stronger. You have to own up. Own up to them, whether it's financially, whether it's relationship, whether it's your grades at school. I'm going to put this into perspective for you guys. I remember when I graduated from high school and, I was known as a keener, man. I tried like, and I always gave it 120%, and so in high school, I graduated really good grades. And, I graduated the top 5% of my class. And, man, things really, I getting into the top university here in Vancouver at UBC, full scholarship, just doing really well. But sometimes, um, things will happen to put you in your place, you know? I knew that going into university, there was going to be a lot of competition. There was going to be a lot of hard work that I still needed to continue to put in. But man, the first time it really hit me in the face was Math 100. I'll never forget. Math 100. Dr. Chen, Math 100. You know, this professor, he was hard. He was really hard. And during the very first quiz that we had, and this quiz was worth 10% of our grade. So it wasn't a huge chunk, but it was a significant chunk. And I gotta tell you, I got my quiz back, and it was the very first fail I'd ever gotten in my life. And it really knocked me down for a little while. It was really hard to imagine, that the very first failing grade was math, you know? Well, me and math, we go way back, growing up in South America, math was never a strong suit of mine. And nonetheless, uh, coming to Canada, having to learn, English and, math wasn't really my strong suit. I mean, you can see how the pieces didn't really add up for me. And, I was struggling with math, in grade six. I mean, I'm very thankful that I struggled at a very young age because, had I been struggling later on, I wouldn't have very many choices to bring my grades back up. So we were really fortunate that my parents found a great tutor, great tutor. I mean, I owe my math to Dr. Huang, and he was actually Taiwanese, and he had two PhDs, one in chemistry and one in physics. So, needless to say, he brought my math up to speed, and he actually helped me accelerate and actually surpass, what I could have done in math. So he never did the one-on-one tutoring. I mean, he always tutored, with like in a class setting, but he made the exception because my math was so bad that he made the exception and he actually tutored me one-on-one. And literally one summer, I'm not kidding, one summer was all that it took to bring me from a grade three level at a grade six. Okay, that's kind of embarrassing for me to say, but you know what? It was a mind-blowing experience. So I really wanted to share this with you guys. So I went from a grade three level at a grade six, um, scholastically, to in one summertime, he caught me right back up to the grade six level. And so I continued with him in a class setting after that because then I was caught up. And I kid you not, by the time I was in grade nine, I was actually TAing for him for the grade nines. And by the time I got to grade 10, going on to grade 11, I kid you not, but in that, at that time, I had already started taking physics and chemistry with him as well. I was TAing three different classes for him. I was TAing the seniors, and this is grade 10 going on to grade 11. I was TAing for his grade 11 and 12 math people, as well as his grade 11 and 12 chemistry people, and grade 11 physics as well. So he had completely changed the trajectory of my physical sciences career. I mean, yeah, I think back and I really, really just cannot believe it sometimes, even when I verbalize it. So, long story short, I mean, that is where I was upon graduating high school. So imagine how big of a failure I felt that my first failed math quiz would have been in first year. When I mean, I was already TAing, you know, at, I mean, it was, I can't even put it into words, you can only imagine what that must have been like for me. So, my very first fail, really hit me hard. And, I actually did go through, all the different stages that I'm describing right now. First of all, I acknowledged my failing quiz, and then I had to take ownership of that. And how did I take ownership of that? Well, I had to I had to say, you know what? Yes, you did well in math in high school, but this is university level. This is college level. This is a different level now, We're at school with the creme de la creme of all the schools in the lower mainland. So you got to imagine we're taking the best students of every school, and that is what makes the class, the class that you're in. You're no longer in that in that class where, there's some kids that might be struggling, or the kids that are just doing so and just doing average. No, we're talking about the best of the best here. And so I was no longer the best in my class in first year. And I had to come to own that, and recognize that and say, you know what? I better get my butt down and do some work. So I had to take action. I had to take massive action and say, you know what? I can't just, yeah, I just can't skate by no more. Maybe I was in that type of thinking that, well, I got this, I can do math. Math is easy. Math is one of my favorite subjects because at that point in time, I could do math. And then boom, math 100 comes around and I am not where I'm supposed to be. So I had to become a lot better at doing my homework, understanding the concepts, and I had to really hunker down, because I had to go and figure out what it was that I could do to bring my grade up. So naturally, not to belabor the point, I went to all the tutorials. I went to my friends who were doing better in class than me. I had to speak to the professor if I had any questions. I had to do the reading, do the questions for homework that was assigned. I gave it like my biggest effort. So I had to really commit myself to bringing my grade up. And so this was one of those big moments in my life where it taught me that, you know what, just because you were at the top of your game, it doesn't mean that you're going to stay there without you putting the effort, the dedication, and you're never going to be able to skate by if you don't give it 120%. So I just wanted to use that example to illustrate it. You cannot just take the easy road, just because, and think about it, yeah, I had a scholarship going in, early admission, but that doesn't mean that, this scholarship was also conditional, right? You got to keep up your GPA and your grades. It's not a full ride like, oh, you can fail all your courses and still get the scholarship. No, 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 no. It was conditional that you still had to maintain a certain amount of GPA. So GPA meaning grade point average, so your grades have to meet a certain percentage before they'll continue to give you that scholarship. So my scholarship was on the line, and I gotta say, that scholarship was important because not only was it a financial impact for me, but it also was my self-worth and self-value was tied in with how well I did in school. So that was really, really a big learning experience for me. And so I encourage everybody to kind of, take a step back and think about, um, why is it that, you've failed or you've hit a wall or you've plateaued and you need to reach the next level, but you can't, how do you self-start? How do you get that back up, So that was one point I really wanted to cover. But the second point that I also want to cover that's really important is that a lot of us, and I myself have always struggled with this, is the feeling that you're not enough, and and in order for us to be able to self-start, we have to believe that we are enough. You have to forgive yourself for anything that's happened in your past. You have to just say, you know what, that's happened in the past. I've made my mistakes. That's done. That's done. Let's move forward. Let's start over, and let's decide to make this part of our lives the best one yet. Right? You have to believe that you